Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the podcast. It's your host, Brent Bilski, AKWB, or the 110 Soldier. Today, so many things to talk about. First of all, Caitlin Clark is back. They are taking on the New York Liberty as we speak. Going to be good to see that. And also, Angel Reese is not doing so well out there. She is struggling. She wants your sympathy, and we'll talk about it. The sky is falling on Angel Reese. And on another note, if y'all did not see this, man, Michael Beasley versus Lance Stevenson one-on-one is one of the funniest, awesomest, most amazing things I've seen in a minute.
Make him dance, Lance.
Oh, this was so good. This is what happened when fake crazy met truly crazy in a WWE one-on-one style. I'll break it all down for you because it's a lot of fun, and we'll get into that as well. But speaking of things that maybe not everyone is seeing that is truly great to watch, Indiana Pacers, who is your daddy? Pop the picture up for me. Mateo.
Who is my daddy, and what does he do?
Yes, the Oklahoma City Thunder. Boy, did they really stave off being in big-time trouble. OKC avoids the brink of elimination behind SGA's 8-for-8, 15-point fourth quarter in the last 4.5 minutes. Gets those 15 points. He scored 15 of the last 16 and 11 in the last 258. That was the most in the last 50 years. And man, this is a huge shift in what's been a good series and a lot of fun to watch. Not as many people have watched it, and I'll get into that in just a little bit. But I mean, just looking at the games itself, game 4 last night, it really to me came down, there was one moment, and it's so crazy to me how much entire finals and seasons and series can come down to just one moment. And with 2:58 left, right when SGA started his scoring streak, I don't know if a lot of y'all caught this. I did hear some people bring it up, but there was a point where you had Nebhart and Nesmith. They were guarding Williams and SGA, and they did this dumb little double team with only 5 seconds left on the shot clock. At this point, they're up 4 points. It leads to a little bit of a scramble. Next thing you know, SGA hits a 3, and it goes from a 1-point game when it could have been a 6-point game with a stop and a score with 2:58 left. To me, that really was kind of the moment where you just felt the momentum and everything shift in the wrong direction. And this is just what finals are, man. In the end, it comes down to the stars. I love deep teams. I love plucky underdogs. I love all the stories. But when you try to win a championship, and there's just no getting around this, in the end, it comes down to the star, and the star you got at the top matters, because it's going to come down to that last couple minutes, and it's just going to be one-on-one, your best against our best, who can just man up and do their thing and get that bucket for you. And unfortunately, it's the Thunder and SGA for the rest of us kind of going for the Pacers and the underdog thing. But with their team about to lose, man, give all the credit in the world to SGA. The MVP had 15 points again in that fourth quarter, 8 of 8 free throws, and the last one to even do something close to that was some guy named Michael Jordan, 1998 Game 6 in his last dance. That is the level of that performance in the fourth that SGA was able to put on. And I love both teams. They've been putting on a great series. They've both shown clutch and grit and fight all season. Indiana has had 5 15-point rallies in these playoffs. That is an NBA record. Oklahoma City, meanwhile, is 22-12 over the regular season and playoffs when they've trailed by double digits. That is also the best record since 1998. So both of these teams have a lot of fight to them. They have a lot of clutch to them. They have a lot of, je ne sais quoi, and they're able to pull themselves out of situations, and you've seen it from back and forth from game 1 now to game 4 in this series. And, in the end, though, boy, the Pacers, you're in big trouble. That was the series. Your ability to go up 3-1 and then making that dumb little double team that led to the 3 by SGA, and then he goes on that run and you lose your stranglehold. Going back to OKC now 2-2, I kind of have a sad feeling that this Hoosier run is in big boy trouble, man. Oklahoma City is the 71 to 80% favorites depending on which odd sites you go to, and I think that's actually a pretty fair assumption with 2 games left in Oklahoma City, and they haven't really played well yet, and that's the other part I didn't really get into. Is just they've actually kind of underperformed and been underwhelming and still been able to tie this series. That might have been the whole sheboing-boing there when they had that 4-point lead with 2:58 left and just made that dumb decision. Such is life, and that's the way things go. But it's been a great series. I got to say that. It's been well played, close games, clutch moments, great fans. But unfortunately, as we have talked about this last week, and I will talk about it again, this is what I'm going to entitle kind of the best finals that nobody's actually watching. You know, to me, this is critical acclaim versus star power. I tried to warn you about this. A lot of y'all got angry with me about it. But it just feels like this series with the Pacers and Thunder is kind of that critically acclaimed movie that you got on VHS. You know, it's well acted, it's well played, but there's just not the national attention, and nobody seems to want to pay attention. You know, 2024, I heard, you know, Poor Things was a great movie. American Fiction was a great movie. Well, unfortunately, nobody saw them. All they saw was Barbenheimer. They either saw Barbie or Oppenheimer or both. And this is one of those matchups that has been a lot of fun and had a lot of intrigue and storyline. This is the youngest finals matchup since 1977 with the combined age of these two teams. They're two teams that have a zero luxury tax, which is also amazing. This is the first time since 2002 both teams in the finals are under the luxury tax threshold. That's the first time in 23 years. Indiana's, it's great. It gives me that Mavs 2011, you know, that same team coached by Rick Carlisle, now bringing another underdog to the forefront. Matter of fact, Game 1 comeback really mirrored the Mavs win versus Miami Heat back in 2011 with the ability to come back very late in the game against a team that was much better and seemed to be much more of a favorite on paper. Oklahoma City, meanwhile, I mean, this is a team that's fighting to be, at least by records and numbers, one of the greatest teams and records in all-time history. You got to remember, dude, Thunder had 68 wins. 68 wins is only behind Michael Jordan's Bulls, West and Wilt's 71 Lakers, and Stephen Durant's Warriors in 2016. That is the level they have performed at all season, and it is truly David and Goliath, at least by the record. There's an 18-win difference between the two going into this series. That is the widest finals margin since 1981 Celtics versus Rockets, as the Pacers, like I said, have kind of given that indie, like that Giants feel, Eli Manning 2007. I mean, the whole series, you know, started off with a bang. Mike Breen, you know, quote right there, Indiana's 15-point fourth quarter comeback in Game 1 tied the largest in finals history, matched only by the 92 Bulls and the aforementioned 2011 Mavericks. There's been a lot of cool guys coming off the bench and making names for themselves. In Game 3, Pacers outscored the Oklahoma City's bench 49-18, and Mathurin had 27 points in that game. That was the third highest in NBA Finals history, the most since Jason Terry. And then the very next game, loses his mind and misses a bunch of free throws and fouling people late and makes some sort of all sorts of ding-dong decisions there. I mean, other guys off the bench, you even have on both sides your plucky white little contributors.
That's a bad white woman.
I mean, you know, McConnell versus Caruso. You had TJ McConnell being the first player since 1973 to have 10 points, 5 assists, and 5 steals in an NBA Finals games as a reserve. Then you had Caruso come in the next game in Game 4, who had 20 points and 5 steals, and he had a plus 14 plus minus. That was the highest on the entire roster. So you got people that are kind of unassuming coming in and being these fan favorites. And then the star versus star, MVP versus what we've seen as Mr. Clutch in the playoffs. And right now, SGA's gotten the last revenge here. But I mean, you know, Halliburton struck with first blood, hit that game winner in Game 1. And then just last game, SGA has one of the best fourth quarters we've seen since Michael Jordan's Last Dance. So it's been, you know, great back and forth. And just unfortunately for everyone involved, the story, if it doesn't command our attention, there's only so much they can do. This is Moonlight versus La La Land. I heard Birdman, Spotlight, Nomadland, all those are great movies. Well, unfortunately, everyone hasn't seen those, but we have seen Transformers. You know, everyone saw Avatar 2 or Jurassic World or Twilight or the 19 Fast and the Furiouses or 50 Shades. There's just, it's an unfortunate part of life that without the intrigue and the big markets and the stars, you aren't going to get as many people watching it. But I will say, for all the purists, this truly has been a very enjoyable, well played, a lot of storylines, awesome series that has gone back and forth, and I'm very excited to see these last 3 games play out, and at least it's been fun in that way. But again, I wasn't wrong. I wasn't wrong. A lot of people tried to give me shit about this, and I have to talk about this right now because y'all got on my rabbit-ass nerves. I got to respond real quick to the commenters last week, something I usually don't do, but man...
You goddamn motherfuckers. You waltz in here and you think you know everything, don't you?
I mean, look, usually I let stuff like this go. I'm just happy that people are engaging, and I wouldn't usually respond. But when you're as wrong as y'all were wrong this time about the finals and the ratings, and I tried to just warn you that this is going to be a purist series to enjoy, but don't expect the world to really be talking about it. Y'all got all pissed off at me and made all sorts of comments, and like I said, usually I wouldn't take the time to do it. I would kind of just let y'all, hey, you have your say, I appreciate it, and keep pushing. But I got time today.
I told you I ain't got time for that. Today I got time, cuz.
Today I got time to talk about it. Last week, I tried to tell you the truth, and boy, did y'all go to your keyboards, man. All I tried to tell you was that this is going to be one of the more low-rated, low-watched series, even if it's great basketball. This is the 24th and 27th lowest markets of 30 teams. That's the bottom 15%. The top 2 stars, as great as they are, don't move the needle. I mean, SGA, the MVP, is only 9th in jersey sales. Halliburton's not even top 20. The star in the crowd, Caitlin Clark, is actually number 2 above both. The MVP isn't a star yet. Hallie is still working his way up, and with no Steph or LeBron, the top teams not being there, the ratings were going to be in trouble. And boy, did y'all kick my ass for it. I mean, all sorts of shit. You don't know basketball. This guy hurts my brain cells. Put the fries in the bag, bro. We need to ban microphones. Why is this idiot bringing up jersey sales? Nah. And y'all bitched and moaned, and y'all made by far the most ass-kicking of comments I've had in a minute. And how'd that work out for you? How did that go? The results are in. Let's see if you little hot shits are actually as right as you think you are. Oh, look. The finals had one of the most historically low ratings of all time and is a total disaster.
You don't know shit about shit.
Game 1 was 8.9 million, which, as you can see, as I got the information here for you, that is the least watched finals ever opener since the Nielsen tracking began in 1988. In Game 2, 8.7 million. That was the lowest viewership in 18 years and is down 30% from last year. Even more alarming, that's the first time since 2007 that the Game 2 of the finals got lower ratings than Game 1 of the finals. So then you go to Game 3, had a slight uptick, 9.2 million, but that's still down 20% from last year, and that wasn't even huge stars. That was just Luka, Jason Tatum. So this idea that y'all had all the right, I gotta admit it feels good, but boy, y'all just, like I said, I try to usually just let this shit go.
You goddamn motherfuckers. You waltz in here and you think you know everything, don't you?
But man, I mean, this was just painfully obvious to anyone who actually follows and knows this sport. And I mean, you're going to have to learn to give me some credit at some point. I've been doing this for a long time, and it wasn't trying to be mean. Again, I'm watching and enjoying the series, but it just is what it is, man. The 24th and 27th markets with 2 of the kind of upcoming but not big names like Steph or LeBron were not going to equal the ratings. Y'all tried to give me all sorts of crap for it. Then lo and behold, we come and look at it, the least watched finals since they've been tracking the goddamn thing on the Nielsen ratings. So I just had to throw that out there, man. This is the smallest market combinations we've seen since like Cleveland, San Antonio in 07, which also had bad ratings, even though there was LeBron in it. 2005 Spurs and Pistons is another one that comes to mind, or the 2021, the Milwaukee Bucks Suns. It doesn't always matter if it's entertaining or it's good basketball. You gotta have people that bring you the eyeballs. There's just so much competition in the marketplace to keep people's attention, and I just had a feeling it was going to go this way, and it ended up going this way, so I had to let you know. And in case you're curious, if you look at the actual high ratings and why, this was kind of obvious to anyone that knew what they were talking about, there's a lot in this picture here, but I mean, basically what you need to know, these are the 10 most watched NBA Finals games of all time. Look at the numbers. Again, 8.9. 8.7 million versus 35, 32, 31 million. And yes, that's a lot of Michael Jordan in those games. And that's pretty much the entire top 10 list. However, there were other stars that did make the list as well. As I highlighted in yellow, those are some Boston and Lakers series as well, either Magic versus Bird or Kobe and his run. And then, of course, the third most watched game was LeBron versus Steph. So you can do what you want, you can say what you want, but when push came to shove, this is just, again, a critically acclaimed, one of the best finals that nobody talks about in that kind of indie Oscar winner, but just not the thing that everyone really wants to get into. It's unfortunate because it has been a great series, but I was absolutely right 1,000% on this, and every one of y'all that had something to tweet and comment and, give me all sorts of stuff about, there's to you. I tried to tell you. So, moving on completely. I want to talk about this quickly. The Oklahoma City Thunder, along with the Rockets and Spurs. Who of these 3 can actually land the Greek Freak? I think this is a big deal. This is something that there's a lot of stories now with NBA draft coming up and, trades being rumored and everything else. There are people on the market, but I think for the first time in a long time, it is a truly realistic scenario that Giannis Antetokounmpo is available and is able to be traded. And yes, I think the two-time MVP is ready to move. I think when Damian Lillard tore his Achilles, unfortunately, that is kind of the end of the Bucks' run, and the Bucks are out of draft and trade capital. I think this is an actual opportunity to get a seismic game changer, and I put those top three teams as having the ability to put all your chips in, and I would fully suggest doing it because I think you can get it done, and I think for all three of these teams, it could truly change the entire landscape of the league. And if the Oklahoma City Thunder, who I would put at the top of my suggestions to get this done, man, if y'all could land the freak watching this series right now, replace him with Hartenstein, and you have the ability to do it, I would do this in a New York minute because, in my opinion, and I don't even think it's a humble opinion, Giannis Antetokounmpo isn't just the top prize in this offseason. He's the only prize, especially if you're the Rockets, Spurs, or Thunder, who have the picks, who have the young talent, who have the ability to contend and help him out where he wants to be. I do not believe the reports at all. Do not believe any of the reports from Milwaukee that say Giannis wants to stay here and we're going to be able to work it out. I don't think that's actually true. I think Giannis has been openly has admitted he wants to contend every year, and unfortunately, Damian's Achilles injury killed any hope of the Bucks being able to do that in the near future. They also have no capital or anything left in the cupboard to trade. They have 0 first-round picks, the Milwaukee Bucks, until 2028. They need to restock. He needs to move on, and he is the only seismic trade available. At 30 years old, Giannis Antetokounmpo, I think a lot of us have forgotten just how dominant and how much of a game changer this guy is. And nobody left is in the rumor markets is anything close to this to make that same type of move. Kevin Durant has been rumored a lot. He's old and he's mercurial. Jaylen Brown is hurt. Drew Holiday is okay. Same with Lauri Markkanen. He's a good young stud, but he hasn't proven himself yet. Cat is got his whole things going on. LaMelo and Ja and their crazy asses. I don't think any of them even come close to what you could do if you add Giannis Antetokounmpo to any one of those three rosters. He is still a top 5 player in the NBA, and he's in his prime. Just last season, 30.4 points, 11.5 rebounds, 6.5 assists, plus he's still a top-tier defender. He is top 5 in the league in win shares on defense. Going back to offense, he's got an over 60% true shooting percentage. He leads the NBA in points in the paint per game. He's the 2021 Finals MVP and has had 5 straight years where he's still putting up these type of MVP stats with no drop-offs. He's also a rare no-drama star. He's just a good dude, works hard, doesn't give you any nonsense off the court. He can guard 1 to 5, something that's coveted defensively from your 7-footers in today's league. He is the only game changer truly left in this draft. And like I said, I don't believe the Milwaukee Bucks at all or the reports from Giannis at all. I think he would like to stay. I think the Bucks would like to have him, but it's just something that for everyone involved makes the most sense is to say, look, man, we have no draft picks left. We've traded everyone to try to give this guy a contender, and we had some decent runs at it. We probably fired a coach when we shouldn't have. Things didn't work out. Next thing you know, Damian goes down. We have no first-round picks to speak of. He's 30 years old. He always wants to be on a contender. We're not a contender anymore. We need to go ahead and let Giannis go. And I think the top 3 teams that really have a chance at this are, again, the Rockets, the Thunder, and the Spurs. And I'll give you my reasons for each and why I think the Thunder really, really need to put their chips all in. But all 3 of these have a good opportunity to do it and good reasons to do it. I'll start off, if Giannis wanted to go to San Antonio Spurs, what the Spurs have to offer is the number 2 pick in the draft along with the number 14 and a lot to go with it, not to mention a lot of talented players on good contracts. That includes De'Aaron Fox, and that is my only caveat for the San Antonio Spurs. If you were to trade for Giannis, I would not include Fox, and I think that's something Milwaukee would try to get back with Damian going down. They could use a star point guard. I would try to throw in the other good young talents I got, even guys like Castle, Vassell. I just think that three of Fox and Giannis and Wemby is something you could really use for the next 4 or 5 years to push yourself quickly to the top of the Western Conference. So the Spurs, again, they got a lot of good picks, and really at the top, that carrot to dangle this year is they have the number 2 pick overall. I would trade the number 2 pick for Giannis plus other first rounds and talents if they would be willing to do it in a New York minute. And if you're Milwaukee, that's interesting because they can give you a lot of picks plus a number 2 overall. Maybe you can rebuild and move forward. The Rockets, Houston Rockets, actually have, of anybody, more first rounders to offer than almost anyone left in the entire NBA. They have really been able to stockpile a lot of picks and were able to move up pretty quickly this last season and kind of be ahead of schedule to where they look like they could really still contend. And I think they're only one scorer away, really, and have the ability to also trade a ton of first rounders. I'd put you at third most likely to do it, but I could still see it getting done where Houston's able to add Giannis to that roster. And man, if you think about just the Warriors series where all they really needed was somebody to go get them a bucket, consistently, that's something Giannis can definitely do and would be a huge problem if he went to Houston. But all that being said, the one that I think needs to get it done and could start maybe the first dynasty that we've seen in 7 years. Don't forget, the NBA has had 7 championships in a row, 7 different teams. We had a lot of parity and a lot of stuff, and it seems like the dynasty era has kind of gone away for a second. Oklahoma City Thunder could bring it back. The Thunder can roll, and I would do this in a New York minute. You're the Oklahoma City Thunder. Even if you win the championship, all that's great. I would still go all in. This is the one guy I would make a seismic trade for even during a winning time to try to push yourself even higher, kind of like how the Warriors did when they added Kevin Durant in his prime. Go all in and replace Giannis Antetokounmpo for Hartenstein there and use your 15 first-round picks over the next 5 or 6 years. Think of the Murderers Row roster that becomes suddenly. You got SGA and Williams and guys like Dort and Caruso on the wing, along with Giannis down there and Chet Holmgren. That is a holy shit roster, a young roster, a talented roster, now with championship pedigree and a great fan base, and could really kind of shock the world to make Oklahoma City and the Thunder, suddenly roll on to be this brand new dynasty. So I had to throw that in there real quick. There's going to be a lot of talk about NBA draft trades and things going on. There's going to be a lot of other names. To me, there's only one name really that's truly worth putting a lot of big investment and moves in. Durant and the other ones don't do it for me. It's Giannis. It's the Freak. And if he goes to any of those 3 teams who could actually get it done, the NBA is in big, big trouble. Moving on now. Let me get to this. Oh, God. Oh, this is so good. I love this so much. Hit the picture for me, Mateo. I love this so much. Lance Stevenson versus Michael Beasley one-on-one this last week. In case you missed it, this was so goddamn entertaining. And I'll give you the quote that I thought about when I saw all of this. Most importantly, the pre-match interview.
Yes, I'm gonna do it to you sexy. That's how I'm make them people love you tonight.
We got a lot to break down here. But this is what happens when if you walk around pretending to be crazy, you eventually walk into someone who's pretending to be sane. And that is all I felt when I saw this with Michael Beasley and Lance Stevenson and their one-on-one matchup for $100,000. Ended up being $200,000. But in case you missed it, this is the 2 ex-NBA players, Lance and Michael, who are now Big 3 teammates, which is also crazy. They're going to be teammates now going forward in the Big 3 League with Ice Cube. Squared off in this one-on-one showdown that was just part and one. It was part WWE. It was part celebrity boxing, all thrown into this awesome viral situation where, Michael Beasley just went, hey, yo.
Get to them nipples.
I'll show you that in a second here. But this was great. This is shout out to, they're called The Next Chapter on YouTube. They're the one that put this on. This is a great idea. We need to see more of it. One-on-one with these NBA guys, even ex-NBA guys and their ego, the pride gets on the line. Then they threw a bunch of money on the line as well, $200,000 when all is said and done. And the most thing I thought about when I saw this was that Lance is just that pretender And Michael Beasley's the one who pretends doesn't want to run into. When that fake tough guy on the street runs into the actual one. When the stolen valor military guy runs into a true Marine. This is what happens when you walk around pretending to be crazy. You might eventually walk into someone pretending to be sane. Lance, for all of his, he's had a good career. He was a good player, but I just think he was fake crazy. I just never bought into his act, the blowing in the ears, the dancing, the flopping, the air guitar, rubbing in dumb layups at the end and starting fights and then pretend he doesn't know what he's doing. Lance Stevenson has always been kind of a clown, even though I'm sure he could kick my ass from here to kingdom come. When it came to the NBA, I always thought he was a fake tough guy and kind of fake crazy. Michael Beasley, on the other hand, is the total opposite of, I think he's someone who thinks he's sane. As he said to this day, with all of his talent not being in the NBA, he doesn't understand why he's there. I mean, this dude, in case y'all don't remember, Michael Beasley was a mother effing dog, man. The number 2 pick in the 2000 NBA draft. He is considered one of the greatest what-ifs of all time. He was a 6'9", guard-skilled, scoring nightmare, and a one-on-one legend. I mean, the rumors say that Kyrie Irving would avoid him specifically, didn't want any of that smoke one-on-one. They've also got him and others saying, dude, I've watched him kick LeBron James's ass in one-on-one. That was via Mario Chalmers. But unfortunately for Michael, he never really learned the lesson of, it's a Southern phrase, but when the chicken shit outweighs the chicken, get rid of the chicken. So as great as he was and as talented as he was, he struggled with drinking and drugs and consistency and reputation issues. And he, even at just 36 years old, he has not been able to come back into the league. And it's unfortunate, but it did give us this gem. And man, you have to see this pregame face-off interview. This was so hysterical, and this was the best part of it. So like I said, this was all like a big WWE-style kind of thing, the matchups and everything else, and they also had them do pregame promo style, and Michael Beasley really had Lance shook. And I heard other people say he's just pretending to be crazy. I don't know. I think even if you're just doing an act here, if you look at Lance's face, he was simply not ready for it. And it said it all. This rivaled to me like the Key and Peele boxing sketches. This rivaled like the UFC skit where, man, you think you're getting into something, you know what you're getting into, and then a real one shows up. Hit this video here for me, Mateo. And before you play it, let me warn everyone right now. If you're at work or your children are around, put on your headphones. This is not safe for work because what Michael Beasley says are bananas, and Richard Pryor would blush. Okay, now you can hit the video here for me.
Fantastic. But I'm gonna do it to you real nice and slow. You understand? I'm gonna do it to you sexy. You understand? I'm gonna make them people love you tonight. You understand? For real. I'm gonna make the people love you.
Already.
I'm gonna have you shaking ass, nigga. Make you dance, Lance.
No, I ain't gonna do that.
I'm gonna make you dance, Lance. We gonna get straight to it, nigga. I'm gonna bring my dancing shoes and I'm gonna tap all over that court. You understand? You better. I ain't on this shaking ass.
No.
You want to double up? Sis, you want to double up?
There we go.
Put it down.
You want to bet?
Put it down. Double up, nigga. Double it, nigga. Double it right now. Put it down. Put it down.
All right. Let's do it.
All right, what, nigga?
You want to bet?
All right, what?
You want to bet?
All right, what?
I'll bet.
Double what?
Bet.
Double it, nigga.
I'll double.
First to 12, nigga.
I'll get
I'm
12.
on your ass, nigga.
I'll get the 12 before.
Baby's gotta eat. Baby's gotta eat, you know, nigga.
I got.
Ooh, I love it, nigga. You got confidence, nigga. I'ma whip it out you, nigga.
All right.
Watch, nigga. I'ma be on your ass, nigga.
I'm on there.
Double it, nigga. 200,000, right? Y'all hear that? Y'all hear that?
I'm with it.
I'ma spank your ass, nigga. Just for the disrespect, that's it. Talking on camera, nigga. We gonna do this, I'm gonna do that.
Yeah.
Here where it's at, nigga. Yeah. I was waiting purposely. I don't talk on camera. I like to see your eyes when I speak, nigga.
Yeah.
You understand? I like to see your soul when I look into them. You understand, nigga?
Yeah.
You understand? That's what real dogs do. That's what real. You understand, nigga? I can't wait to get you out there, nigga. I'm gonna be looking at your back, nigga.
Hey, yo.
Yeah, nigga.
Hey.
Yeah, nigga. I'm gonna make you shake your ass,
Ain't
nigga.
never.
Ain't bringing no condom forward to you, nigga.
Hey, yo.
Nigga.
Hey.
I'm gonna do it to you real sexy, nigga.
Ooh, I love this. This is, ooh.
Better move, nigga.
Ooh.
I'm saying, nigga, baby.
All right.
I tell you what I'm gonna do to you, nigga. Fuck you.
What you gonna do?
What you gonna do, bitch? Sweep through left, nigga. If you stop it, nigga, I'm gonna spin, nigga. If you stop it, I'm gonna step back. If you stop it, I'm gonna go the other way, nigga. I'm gonna tell you what I'm gonna do to you. I'm gonna talk to you, nigga. I'm gonna teach you why I'm sexing you the fuck up, nigga.
All right.
The fuck is you? This consensual, nigga. I want the people to know that.
Ooh.
Make sure you get a bigger shirt, cause I'm gonna be in that motherfucker, nigga.
I ain't wearing no shirt.
Cool, nigga. Better. Get to them nipples. You hear me?
Hey.
Yeah, it's gonna be real. It's gonna be real sexual, nigga. It's gonna be real sensual, nigga. I'm gonna real do it to you, nigga. You hear me?
Oh, and seeing, I mean, again, you cut to Lance, and you can tell because they know each other. They're going to be teammates, and he just had that look, though, like, is this dude for, like, you can say he was trying to just channel or he was being like a Mike Tyson or whatever. I saw someone who truly, you know, wanted some smoke and had some just ayo, pause, whatever you want to call it, things to say.
Get to them nipples.
Just going to get to your nipples and get to your back and everything else. And I don't think Lance had a damn clue what to do with it. You cut to his face. You see it on him. This is what happens. Again, you pretend to be that tough guy, and eventually you're going to walk into that real one, and you can just see immediately the ones who are truly about it and the ones who are just, they're just in costume. And I always said Lance was in costume, and it was kind of at least entertaining for me to see when the face-off happened. So they did play, by the way. After all that all went viral, and everybody, boy, this got a lot of attention. Beasley backed up the talk, kicked his ass. 31-21. It was, you know, and even afterwards said on Instagram Live to Lance, you know, grab a cigarette and a towel. We made a sex tape that Kim K would envy.
That's what I'm gonna do to you, sexy. That's how I'm gonna make them people love you tonight.
And in my opinion, this whole thing was won before the ball was ever bounced. This is kind of truly in that Mike Tyson fashion of he had people shook before the boxing match started. Even though Lance was less talented than Michael Beasley, I still think Michael Beasley got in his head. Truly, it's something Lance isn't used to. He's used to being the instigator, not the one being freaked out, and he took the $200,000 from him. He kicked his ass. Lance tried to put on his show a little bit, but as you can see, Mike Beasley is still, God, he's good, man. 6'9", absolute legend. It's crazy that he cannot stay on a roster, and if he could ever figure it out, it would be awesome to see if he could put 1 or 2 years left. But just in general, this needs to start a trend. I want to see more of this. I want to shout out the next chapter one more time. This was truly entertaining. There's other matchups in this kind of realm besides just in the big three, taking the old vets. I would love to see it get to one-on-one. You know, WNBA has even dissed them and said, like, man, you guys don't like to put your pride on the line. Their pride was on the line during this, and I would love to see more matchups in kind of this fashion, whether it's like a Gilbert Arenas versus Nick Young, you know, Matt Barnes versus Derek Fisher. That could be an entertaining series for us as well. I don't know, maybe you got some names out there that you'd like to throw in. Give me in the comments section some other former vets you'd like to see go in this style, head-to-head, one-on-one, get to your nipples,
Get to them nipples.
Put it on the line, WWE promos. But, man, Michael Beasley might already be the Hulk Hogan Ultimate Warrior. He knew his assignment the second he walked in the door. And like I said, I think he had Lance shook.
That's what I'm gonna do to you, sexy. That's how I'm gonna make them people love you tonight.
I don't think Lance had a damn clue what to do with Michael Beasley on or off the court. It'll be interesting to see them together as teammates in the Big Three. But I had to share that with you because that was, to me, more than the finals. That was the coolest, funniest, most amazing kind of thing that just kind of came out of thin air the entire, basically, I would say last few months. Man, that was the most entertaining shit I've seen in a minute. All right, speaking of entertainment, we got good news. Caitlin Clark returns today as we speak. Oh, and she is really starting to prove that she is truly in a league of her own. Now, they're playing the Liberty right now. I'll hopefully get some updates when I get home. But, man, Caitlin Clark has once again proved that she is in a league of her own. And it's interesting because just the other day, you know, actually watching that old movie, if a lot of y'all haven't seen, it's one of the best sports movies in a long time, A League of Their Own. It is so similar to the WNBA currently in their situation.
Are you crying? There's no crying. There's no crying in baseball.
It was fascinating watching that movie and thinking, like, God, this is so eerily similar to exactly what the WNBA is going through, and just that plot parallel and proofs that things just, they don't change. Even though we all think we were the first, if you compare the two situations, it's almost uncanny. In the movie, there's this great women's league full of amazing and talented ladies who all had awesome stories, and they all deserved some shine and everything else. But there was Dottie Henson, who was the main star, natural, camera-ready, graceful, talented, charismatic. Then you had her sister Kit, like Angel Reese, who was this gritty, emotional, good player as well, but constantly living in Dottie's shadow and just couldn't get over it and just let it take her down. And the conflict in the movie wasn't just about the game. It was about jealousy versus league success. It was about individual fame versus collective respect, how a league survival depends on embracing the star of the league, even though it might sting or might seem unfair to the other people who also are deserving of having their story told, and people being so focused on the obstacle instead of the opportunity. Just like today's WNBA, the product isn't enough without the draw. You need storylines, personalities, marketable icons, and Caitlyn is the Dottie Henson. Angel to me feels a lot like the Kit of just somebody who can't seem to get over it with the rest of the WNBA, with Asia and Paige and all these other great girls needing their story told too. It's just in a situation where you need to evolve. You need the Dotties and Kits to work together, but they have to realize that jealousy might sell headlines for a second, but embracing stars is what actually makes you successful long term. Golf with Tiger Woods, NBA Michael Jordan, NBA Magic Bird. There's been similar stories going back. But man, it was crazy. I was like, God, I'm watching League of Their Own. I'm like, this is WNBA.
Are you crying?
There's no crying.
There's no crying.
No crying in basketball.
There's no crying in baseball.
It is what it is. But man, tell you this, the Dottie coming back is obviously something they needed very, very much. I told you this before. I'll tell you again. It is a lonely island when Caitlyn is not there. Thank God she is back. Thank God Caitlyn is back. Have y'all seen the ratings? They went to hell. National TV ratings plunged 55%. They are down 55% since Caitlyn went out on May 24th. That is going from 1.81 million average to only 850,000 viewers per game. Fever games by themselves are still down 53%, but the WNBA as a whole was down 55%. I think a lot of people expected the Fever ratings to be down. What some of y'all still don't realize was that just having her sit out, half the audience disappeared when Caitlin Clark sat out for the entire league. That is what I'm trying to explain, and others are trying to explain. This is your Dottie Henson. This is your Michael Jordan. This is your Tiger Woods. You just have to stop being so Kit about this damn thing and just embrace what is going on. I mean, attendance ticket prices were no different. The Fever road games just collapsed. Suddenly, the hottest selling ticket in the world was down 47% when they went to Washington, 71% when they went to Chicago. I mean, that was supposed to be the big deal. Caitlyn versus Angel again, and they got down to $7 to $3 ticket prices, available seats all over the place. It's just nosedive without her presence. So thank the Lord and the league and Caitlyn's quad that she is back. Hopefully she can stay healthy. And as a entire league itself trying to go to the table this season. And remember, at the end of the season, they're going to try to renegotiate their entire CBA. This is the big year for them to get more money and to say, look at our ratings and look what we're doing. Y'all better cross your fingers, your legs, and pray and do whatever else you got to do that Caitlin Clark does not have any more injuries and is able to stay healthy. And is always a scare, also considering that women specifically with their knees and ACLs, something that needs a lot more research, is a consistent issue. Chicago Sky, Angels team just lost their point guard, and we've had others, big stars, Juju just last year in college, Paige a couple times before that. ACLs are a big thing. If that ever happens to Caitlin Clark, you guys are in trouble. Ladies are in trouble if Caitlyn goes down. Just in 2 weeks without her being there, 55% of your entire audience went poof, just went away completely. That is absolutely bananas. And I'll give a quick update, too, on the other star that y'all have tried to push, Paige Bueckers. I got good news for Paige Bueckers fans. She did have a great moment. I know a lot of y'all have wanted to turn to Paige. A lot of the anti-Caitlyn people are very upset and want to push the one that they actually wanted from the beginning, Paige Bueckers. She had herself a great game. Hit the video here for me, Mateo. This was impressive just the other day. It wasn't a loss, but still 35 points, and this was coming after having a break between her illness and concussions. 35 points, tied Caitlin Clark's rookie career high, and was absolutely on fire. Had 22 points in the first half, was just kicking people's butts left and right, and truly had herself an impressive game there. And Paige Bueckers, look, I'm watching her. She's a good player. This is an impressive performance. I see the moves. I see some of the things you're talking about, and she is obviously a rookie, even though she's technically older than Caitlin Clark. She is still learning as she goes, but the numbers still aren't there. 17.6, 4.9 rebounds, 5.3 assists, as to Caitlin Clark's rookie year of 19.2 points, 5.7 rebounds, 8.4 assists. Don't forget, Caitlin Clark set the WNBA record in assists for the season. And TV ratings, the attention, it's not the same. She's just not Dottie. She's not the star. TV ratings for the Wings aren't even close. Ticket sales aren't even close. Her numbers, other than this 35-point game, which was great, she still didn't have as many assists as Caitlin did in her 35-point game that she matched. Her averages aren't the same. Her ticket sales aren't the same. It's just not the same. At some point, y'all just really have to understand where the bread is buttered, and that is what's going on in the situation. But I did want to shout out, at least for a second, Paige Bueckers. Good job. She seems like a very impressive player, and I'm sure will be an all-star going forward. I just don't think she's the seismic game changer that you already have and you don't appreciate. Speaking of not appreciating, let me get to this. Sky has fallen a little bit on our poor Angel. And it just reminds me of the quote, everybody wants to be the villain until the pitchfork comes out. Everybody wants to be the villain until the pitchforks come out, and that to me is what's happening with Angel Reese and the Chicago Sky. And I will clarify before I break this down, dude, I have always had a soft spot for Angel Reese, and I do feel bad for her in a lot of ways as the up-and-comings and her reaction, and as you'll see, she wants to kind of get people off her case as things aren't going well for her. It's not just that I think she's good for ratings and the WNBA, which I do. I also feel like she's kind of a product of the times. You know, Angel Reese and has been blinded a lot by her fans and other people who bring in, unfortunately, their own personal trauma rather than be able to let her be analyzed and criticized on her performance and her behavior. And these girls and these fans and everyone else give her a lot of excuses that I think has kind of put her in this naive confusion to where, as I'll show you, she's struggling and she wants sympathy and she wants all this other stuff. And it's just not that we don't want to like you or that there's anything based on XYZ, race, gender, whatever else you want to bring up. There is a hypocrisy that needs to be addressed with Angel Reese, because as annoying as she can be, she's still great for the sport. And I mean, she's never been in any sort of legal trouble. She's never caused any real issues. She still has had some great performances on the court and set some records. She is, by the way, the fastest to 500 points and 500 rebounds in WNBA history. I do think that's worth mentioning. She is still a top performer. She can't score for shit, but she does do a lot of things. Defensive rebounding, does a lot of things out there that are truly, she can ball if her mental's in the right place. But boy, the queen of the me-bounds is having herself a rough go of it. Angel lately has become the queen. They've even, put up a new term for her called me-bounds. She's having a tough time. The Sky are 2-7. Their point guard, Vandersloot, just went out with an ACL injury. She's done for the year. Chicago Sky are off to one of the worst openers in WNBA history. Her performances are down as well from her rookie year. She's averaging 10.1 points per game from her 13.6 as a rookie. She's only shooting 35.8% from the field, only 36% on two-point attempts, 3.9 turnovers per game, which is almost double last year. Her team, the Chicago Sky, is number 1 at 18 turnovers per game in the entire WNBA. This one is really crazy. Her shots, she's leading in shots in the paint. 7.3 shots per game are in the paint, and she's only shooting 31.8%. Why that's fascinating is that no one else in the league has shot less than 53.7% in the paint. She's shooting 31.8 and is shooting 7 of those a game. So she's getting a lot of attempts and they're not going in at an all-time historic low. And the new term, the me-bound. She has become the me-bound queen. It's unfortunately a little bit true. Some of the stats are overblown, but the truth is she rebounds a lot of her own misses. That's where the term comes from. 22% of her missed shots are the ones that she rebounds herself. 15 to 30% of all her offensive rebounds are actually me-bounds. There's also the guys that have gone viral. They've done this thing where they keep parlaying their bets to where Angel, you can do the prop bet, will Angel miss her first shot of the game? They're like 6 of 8 so far. They're getting all sorts of views. They're raking up a bunch of money. So she's got people making viral bets about her failure. She's having rookie all-time lows. They have a new kind of insulting term called me-bounds dedicated to her inability to score around the paint. She's setting all-time record low percentages in shooting in the paint. Chicago Sky off one of the worst starts in WNBA history. So there's a lot going on that isn't good for Angel Reese. And now she's doing the thing that Angel does, which makes it sometimes tough to root for Angel. She wants mercy now. Now she wants us to feel bad. Now suddenly Angel wants to switch everything up and kind of be like, hey, you know, I'm actually just this really sweet girl, and I really don't like all this hate, and I don't understand where it's coming from, and yada, yada, yada. So there's a 2-part clip I'm about to show you. The first one, you'll see her. It's Ariel Atkins is off to the right. That's her teammate, 2-time All-Star, who came to her defense the other day as the media was asking her questions that she didn't like, and then cut to Angel Reese herself kind of doing this whole innocent victim. I just want to play basketball. I don't understand where the hate comes from. Hit the video here for me now, Mateo, as you can see what I'm talking about. Suddenly, the Angel, now that things aren't going well.
The amount of crap that she gets on a day-to-day, and she still shows up. So whatever questions y'all got, like, about our team, basketball-wise, we appreciate it, but all the other nonsense, like, it's irrelevant. Like, we here to play basketball and do what we do. We having a hard time right now at the end of the day. Just a 23-year-old kid who handles herself with grace. Her crown is heavy. So whatever else, like, y'all want to come at her for the way that she acts, she has to build the wall. She has to have the wall. Because if she doesn't, people will bring her down. Not only just because of the way she looks, but because of the way she carries herself. She knows who she is. And we ain't going to break her down for that. So whatever other questions y'all got, like, I'm hoping it's just about basketball. Maybe a box score question. But the kid's crown is heavy. Like, respect that.
And I just focus on basketball. I come into work every day and work. I don't complain. I don't care about anything else. I have bad days. I haven't been playing well at all. And I can sit here and just mope around and point the finger, but it's been me. And I take accountability. I come in every day and try to be better than the next and better than the last. And I know my teammates trust me. I know they have my back. Ariel has my back for everything. And I just love that being a part of a team that I know really trusts me and trusts my work. And everything else is everything else. I'm just here just to come to work every day and go home. That's all I want to do is just come to work and being able to enjoy my job that I love. People would die and kill to have this job. And being able to play with the best players in the world means a lot to me. I put my all in this. I do.
Now, here's the thing. If you just watch that, it's easy to go, oh, this poor girl. You know, all she wants to do is play basketball and go home. Why does everyone have to give her so much crap? Where does this come from? It must be because of XYZ. It can't be because of basketball or what she's doing. Look at this sweet poor girl crying. And like I said before, I have a soft spot for Angel, so I don't want her to be like this. But I just have to remind people, and maybe remind Angel, and I hope that somebody in her life is actually nice enough to tell her the truth. Because I said this last year, and I'll say it one more time. The problem for you, Angel Reese, is that nobody cries for the villain when they lose. At some point, you're going to have to pick your brand, and that's fine. Pick your persona, pick your identity, and be consistent with it. But nobody cries for the villain when they lose, Angel Reese. It's just the fact of life that you can't play the Joker and try to burn down Gotham City, then suddenly ask for sympathy once Batman actually catches you and be like, oh, I'm so frustrated, and you got to understand my mommy was mean to me, and I'm so misunderstood. I mean, you said yourself, I'll take the villain role. You embraced it when you were winning, and you can't spend years being the villain, and most importantly, a sore winner. And I think that is something that is the toughest pill to swallow when it comes to Angel, is that when she's winning, boy, she is a sore winner. She is up in your face. She is letting you know. She would point to her ring finger, give you the you can't see me, give you the L sign. She, you know, girls that were fouled out, she would wave goodbye to them as they're crying and have a big old smile on her face as she'd do it. She would flex as she'd knock you down. She'd flagrant foul girls. She'd taunt the crowd and do all this rabble. And then now that she's losing, she's suddenly surprised that people seeing her get her up in comments aren't that sympathetic. And I don't know where the confusion lies. And I also have have to throw this in here. Do not even try that this is just a woman thing. I do not accept that narrative as a sports fan that this Angel Reese turnabout being fair play is all based on her being a woman. Do not let these fans that don't watch basketball and they're bringing in own personal trauma blind you to what's going on. Let's be very clear. Male athletes have gone through the exact same narrative. LeBron, 2011. Besides the fact that he would play bully ball and push and push and push, then act I, Tanya, Nancy Kerrigan when he got touched, when he got fouled back. You got to remember, this guy put on the villain role in Miami. People remember that. Not one, not two, not three, would put out that super team energy. And then when the Dallas Mavericks were able to upset them, nobody felt bad for them. And matter of fact, a lot of people gave him a lot of hell for it. You think of guys like Isaiah Thomas, back in the 80s, the bad boy Pistons. You want to talk about villains. These guys were assholes and bullies to everyone the entire time that they played. Then he had the nerve to freeze out Michael Jordan, walks off the court without shaking his hand. I mean, they made enemies all across the league. And somehow Isaiah Thomas was stunned when the 92 Dream Team said, you know what, we don't need you. And you can go ahead and take a hike. And he was shocked by this somehow, but the rest of us weren't, and we didn't feel sorry for you. The entire time you've been playing, you owned that villain brand, and you were good at it. The Bayou Barbie, you can't see me. Oh, you fouled out. Bye-bye. So sorry to see it. Talking spicy and pressers, getting on Twitter, talking shit left and right. That's the energy you built. So now when things aren't going well and you ask for empathy, people don't understand, and it just doesn't land the same because you can't be both. And I'm not mad at you for it. I want to repeat that. I got a soft spot for you. You were good for ratings. You were good for Caitlyn. You were good for the league in general. A good role model. Never been in trouble. And you're young and you're still figuring things out. But when it comes to building your personal brand, you got to pick a lane. Just pick one or the other and stick with it. You want to be villain? Cool. There's actually a lot of money in being the villain. Embrace it. Double down. Go bad boy Pistons. Do your thing. Go Bill Laimbeer and just say, you know what, Reggie Miller, you don't like me. I don't give a damn. And that's going to sell a lot of shoes and tickets and do very well for your brand. You want to be the hardworking, misunderstood underdog? That works too. But either way, you got to be consistent. And if you want to go that way, let your game do the talking, soften the persona, but you can't straddle both lanes. We don't know whether to root for you or to roll our eyes, and that's where the backlash comes from. It has nothing to do with anything else. It's about clarity and what story are you trying to tell the world. And right now, Angel is unfortunately stuck somewhere between the Joker and a Harley Quinn redemption arc, and she's going to have to pick which lane that she wants to go down, which either way, I'll be watching and I'll be rooting for you, but you got to be consistent, and nobody cries for the villain when they lose. Out of time. I got to go. You guys enjoy your week. We'll see what happens next week at the final. See who wins the championship, and we'll talk about it then. Bye-bye.